WWE is unwatchable right now. Now, one of the main reasons why WWE is unwatchable right now because Liv Morgan is not involved. First of all, we got to get Liv Morgan more involved, Triple H. We got to put Liv Morgan in some feuds. We done with this Judgment Day gimmick. Get her out of the Judgment Day. Let her stand on her own 2 feet. Her and Dominic Mysterio been together for 5-6 years now, I feel like. They need to break up. We need that storyline to end. It ran its course already. We need to move on to something else. You get what I'm saying? But we about to get to the video, man. If y'all new to the channel, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Let's get to the video, man.
Coming out of WrestleMania 42, there's a common consensus amongst fans that WWE is now an unwatchable pro wrestling product. The WWE product just 2 years ago was red hot with sellouts left, right, and center, and there's been a plethora of engaging and unique storylines on television every single week. Sadly, this has vastly changed, and WWE is in a place right now where they're having to prove to the audience why they deserve their hard-earned money. Setting the stage, WrestleMania 42 received mixed reviews from fans. Whilst elements of the show were praised, specifically the match between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, the commercialization of pro wrestling greatly overshadowed these successes, and WWE were being heavily called out for the way they approached the implementation of sponsorships and commercials throughout the whole broadcast. This became such a contested issue within the pro wrestling space that even O'Shea Jackson confirmed that he informed Triple H and Stephanie McMahon that it was a major issue, and based on the game's response, it appeared that he is fully aware of the complaints fans have. Ultimately, WrestleMania 42 left a dampener on things, as the main focus following the biggest show of the year was on how greedy WWE and TKO had become, and this simply shouldn't have been the main talking point coming out of WWE's signature event. WrestleMania also didn't set the stage for anything grand or new coming out of the show. In a Night One's main event, Cody Rhodes retained the WWE title, keeping SmackDown at the same exact level it was before WrestleMania, albeit without celebrities such as Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee. When it comes to Night 2, granted the main event was a certified classic, but we're once again at a point where Roman Reigns is world champion. This isn't anything new or bold. Reigns had a 4-year run as world champion, so a lot of fans see this as a total desperation move. WrestleMania should in theory set the stage for the next calendar year, whether that be a new star that fans haven't seen as world champion before or a new engaging storyline.
We gotta put the belt around Javon Evans' waist. It's time for Javon Evans to get a title shot. It's time for him because he like the new. I feel like he's gonna have a big year this year, and I feel like he's just like a new up and coming superstar. We gotta get him into more storylines and things of that nature. We gotta put a title around his waist, and yeah, man, we gotta push him to the we gotta push him to the top. Triple H. I hope he get a push real soon.
WrestleMania this year achieved absolutely none of this. There's no denying that this is a major contributing factor in why the mood within the WWE fandom seems defunct of any energy, passion, or genuine care. Whilst WrestleMania is indeed the biggest show of the year, the subsequent shows need to be a priority for WWE. Vince McMahon realized this early on during his time running WWE, as he was keen to introduce new feuds onto WWE television and even implement a WWE draft to keep everything fresh as possible. Well, what is the landscape of 2026? There's no denying that SmackDown is struggling in 2026. SmackDown just feels like a complete afterthought for WWE, and with them reducing the runtime of the show down to 2 hours in a matter of weeks, the format of the show is going to be all over the place. WWE has this weird agreement with the USA Network where half of the year the duration of SmackDown will be 3 hours, but then they lose the additional hour in the summer. Even though this shouldn't impact the product too much, it's come at a huge hindrance for WWE and Triple H. The core issue with this is that Triple H stacked SmackDown due to the additional hour. The game has admitted that it's extremely hard to book a 3-hour TV show, and one of the easiest ways to achieve this is by having a deep, varied roster. Naturally, the consequences of this is when that additional hour is then subsequently cut, and WWE is then left scrambling because names they haven't invested months of TV time into suddenly have no space on the card. As a result, SmackDown just appears lifeless as a show. WWE did attempt to spice things up following WrestleMania on the Blue Brand by having Gunther attack WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, and this angle should have been huge. A Raw star who's a former world champion and the man who retired John Cena invading the rival show and taking out their world champion. Sounds good, right? But sadly, this angle didn't even main event the show and clearly wasn't given the gravitas it needed to fully resonate and connect. As such, the booking of Gunther has been such a mess since he retired both Cena and AJ Styles. These wins perhaps the biggest wins of the modern era, but the follow-up has just been a total dud. Gunther was initially going to wrestle Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania this year. However, when Mysterio went down with an injury, WWE were left struggling to find an opponent for the ring general. There were even reports that WWE were considering having Gunther miss the show, and this was more than apparent from watching Raw, as he was virtually absent, and WWE had to throw his program with Seth Rollins together out of nowhere. The presentation of Gunther has just been a major L for WWE, because Gunther in theory should be presented as the most credible star they have. This just isn't the case, as he was arguably more over when he was Intercontinental Champion. Gunther's strengths come from his pro wrestling ability, however this element of his presentation has been abolished, and he barely wrestles on TV, which is a massive shame. The next time WWE runs the retirement angle, which they no doubt will, potentially with Mysterio when he's ready to call it a day, fans are going to be struggling to care. WWE fans know that even if Gunther retires every single wrestler on the roster, the follow-up just isn't going to be compelling.
Yeah, we done with the Gunther retire all the legends gimmick. We done with that, Triple H. We gotta get Gunther and some. Y'all ain't got no storylines for Gunther, Triple H. It's just he just retire all the legends. He did anytime a legend about to retire, he gonna be their last match. That's all y'all got. I ain't gonna lie. I think Gunther a little bit overrated. I'm gonna say it. I watched him wrestle and I don't get what the hype is. I'm just gonna be honest.
They only have themselves to blame for this. Outside of Rhodes and Gunther's storyline, there doesn't seem to be anything too compelling on the SmackDown show, and unfortunately, the cage match ratings are somewhat justified. Weekly editions of the Blue Brand are often amongst the lowest rated shows WWE deliver, and SmackDown simply is an appointment viewing for anyone, especially a 3-hour broadcast on a Friday night. Now, at least to their credit, WWE has tried to get new talent over on the show. Trick Williams is a certified star, yet there is concern that WWE is going to strip away all the elements that got him over in the first place when he inevitably turns babyface. There have been an array of NXT call-ups, with JC Jane perhaps being the standout, and Jane has managed to get over instantly, yet in a weird move, WWE isn't proceeding with a JC Jane versus Rhea Ripley feud over the women's title. WWE has learned firsthand that they need to strike when the iron is hot, and that isn't what they're doing here, and it may come back to bite them months down the line when fans simply stop caring. A lot of attention has been drawn to the fact that SmackDown doesn't have an identity or even a purpose. Raw stars appear on the show without any fanfare, and if it wasn't for Rhodes being somewhat exclusive to the show, there could be an argument that WWE is slowly trying to rescind the modern day brand split. In fact, a lot of fans are actually calling for this to happen, and it does have some justification. If you're not going to fully commit to a concept, then there's no purpose in doing it. And while certain stars may be overexposed if the brand split is erased, hopefully this will make SmackDown a more compelling watch. Raw is bore? Raw is...
Well, remember in like 2009 or 2010, one of those years where they used to have a draft. Like, your favorite wrestlers that get drafted to either SmackDown or Raw or ECW. Man, that used to be a fun time. I'm not gonna lie. Was it ECW in it? I don't know. I can't remember. But I know it was SmackDown and Raw for sure.
The age show for WWE, and it's been this way since they moved to the Netflix platform last year. Most of the show actually feels important and well structured, and the fact that Roman Reigns is working full time makes the show a must see for a lot of fans. The Reigns full time schedule isn't without its issues though. Whilst it was wonderful to see Reigns finally commit to another big run, rekindling the Bloodline arc seems short-sighted at this point. There's nothing more that can be offered to the Bloodline lore to make it exciting, and even though Jacob Fatu is an incredible talent, the feud between the two cousins just doesn't need the Usos or the MFT faction attached to it in any way. It almost feels like WWE is just getting desperate at this point. WWE knows that the Bloodline era was their most successful era since the Attitude Era, so recycling these storylines isn't the worst idea in the world, well on paper that is. However, this never works in pro wrestling. Take for instance, during the Attitude Era, Vince McMahon vs Stone Cold Steve Austin was the hottest storyline in pro wrestling, and it did change the business forever. But then for decades, McMahon tried to run the story back with other various babyfaces, ranging from The Rock, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Triple H, and even Becky Lynch at one point. It just never works the same, as the magic has been lost, and the fans can see through what the company is trying to do. But it's certainly not all sunshine and rainbows on the Red Brand, as the presentation of Liv Morgan has been a major flop, as Morgan won the world title from Stephanie Vaquer at WrestleMania 42, and since then she's practically been a background character on the show. WWE just never fully...
I said that, bro. I did not just say at the beginning of the video, Liv Morgan need to be more involved. Why you got her as a background dancer for Dominic Mysterio, bro? And I'm not even just Dominic Mysterio. Like she's not even on the She just won the title, man. She's supposed to be having some storylines in play. Triple H, what are you doing? This is ridiculous, man. They just let me run WWE for a month, and I promise you, we gonna be, man. It's gonna be up. I'm telling you. But Triple H, you doing a wonderful job. I'm gonna cut you some slack. I'm gonna give you some grace, Triple H. But yeah, man, you gotta put my GOAT to the forefront. We tired of playing the background.
It's to making the world champion of the women's division the star of the show. The fact that Morgan was given just 6 minutes at WrestleMania this year speaks volumes. So is there too much at once? There's no denying that WWE is taking the completely wrong approach when it comes to the month of May of 2026. They booked 3 events for the month, those being Backlash, Saturday Night's main event, and Clash in Italy. Naturally, the last 2 of those have greatly suffered from a lack of build, and fans continue to question what the point of the Saturday Night's main event concept is, especially when it occurs 7 days before what is apparently a big event for the company. It's overkill, and it's something that WWE has struggled with over the past few years, as they go from having no shows for 6 weeks to having 3 shows in the space of 4 weeks. It's a bizarre approach, and the decision to have every Saturday Night's main event special air 7 days before a PLE needs to be entirely scrapped, as it's killing the momentum of the product. The low mood. The WWE product may not be red hot now. One of the reasons the mood is low is because of the practices of TKO. A dozen names were released after WrestleMania this year, and a lot of the names cut had genuine connections with the fans. It was reported that WWE were attempting to restructure the contracts of some top names, and this led to the beloved Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods leaving the company. These reports, as well as reports of talent morale being low, don't exactly create a positive headspace to watch WWE, as fans genuinely care about the well-being of their favorite talents. WWE can definitely turn this bad fortune around, however, a lot has to change. The product has to start delivering compelling, engaging storylines, and TKO needs to control their business practices, or 2026 is going to be an extremely bleak year for the company as a whole. What do you guys think? Is WWE
I think Liv Morgan need to be more involved, Triple H. Come on, man. My client, we just won the title, man. You already know we must see TV. And it was pretty strange to me. I'm glad he pointed that out at WrestleMania. She only got, I think her match was only like 6 minutes. I was wondering why it was so short. I don't know what we did wrong, Triple H. But whatever my client did, we apologize on our behalf. Now, I don't know why we getting pushed to the back all of a sudden. Yeah, man. This supposed to be a big year for us, Triple H. Don't do us like this, man. We gotta Liv Morgan need to be in some storylines, man. I'm tired of seeing her backstage with the Judgment Day and Dominic Mysterio. That shit is so 2023. We done moved past that already. Like, we ain't even trying to see y'all that no more. But I'm out of here. If y'all enjoyed that reaction video, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Hit that post notification bell so you can get notified when I drop another banger. And I'm out of here, man.